This is how you can maximize your AI agent's performance with 8 very simple options. This is NA10 and I will be using it to demonstrate all of the different options that you can tune on your AI agent to maximize its performance for the task you want it. Associated with this video, we have this beautiful PDF that I have created for you, of course using AI, that is going to give you all of this information in a concise way and you could use it in the future as well. If you want to get this PDF completely for free, you should click on the link down below that says Gumroad, you put your email and you buy it completely for free. You just put $0 as payment. You don't have to pay anything. If you want, you could leave a tip if you find this useful and it helps you. I would very much appreciate it. So before we begin on what all of these options are, you could find my AI course that I'm teaching you how to use AI tools for all of the tasks you could think about. You pay only once, it costs like $20 and you got all of the updates every single week for the next year or so. I think this is the best offer for a beginner in the market. And currently I'm working on an N8N automation course that I will try to make it as cheap as possible. So if you want to learn more about automations, AI agents, stick around, press the subscribe button. Let's get started. So I used N8N today just for demonstration. And usually when you create an AI agent and you connect it with a chat like OpenRouter, you will find these options here. So these options are available in any case or form, like it's also on AI Studio, on ChatGPT. In general, when you use something with API, not with the chat messages and prompts, but with API to create AI agents and use them, you will usually find some or all of these options. But not a lot of people understand what each one of these actually mean. So let's get started with this frequency penalty. What I love about N8N is that if you hover over this question mark, it gives you an idea of what happens. So this is nice. But you can also always have like this PDF document to accompany you. So we have the default values and a range of actual factual values that you can use to tune the behavior for each parameter. And we also have a use case recommendation table. We're going to cover all of that in today's video. Watch from start to finish because these could create mind-blowing results for your use cases, for your current AI agents. It could boost them to the heavens. So, frequency penalty. What this does is that it penalizes repeated use of the same word and phrases. So, when you want to raise like the word variety, you keep this low. If you start adding values to this, you reduce repetition. So you go for novelty. And this is a very useful like parameter, especially for what you would use for creative writing, for example, or for brainstorming. You would push this value to the heavens, okay? The second one, and of course you can tune it here on N8N, or if you use code, Python, you could tune the parameter during your request. So the second thing is the maximum number of tokens. Again, you can hover over this to get an overview of what N8N tells you. The default value is -1 for unlimited tokens generation. Again, each model here has different settings. Most of the models can generate from 32,000 tokens to up to 1 million tokens. So this is mostly due to the model limit. So you have to know what model you use. But essentially a token, you can think of it like being part of a word. Usually a word is 2 to 3 tokens. So if you have like chat messages or chat responses for a mobile app, you want to keep them short. Or if you don't have a lot of budget, because you pay for each token you generate, then you want to keep these max tokens to a low value, like 200, 300 words. But if you want to write books, essays, generate code, you really want to pump this up as much as possible. Also for the newer reasoning models like O3, Gemini 2.5 Pro, all of the thinking reasoning models, the more tokens they can generate, usually the better their performance is. So you would like to pump that up. But if you're on a budget or you want short answers, you could set like max tokens to 300, 400, something like that. So the next option is the response format. So you could get a response that is text or a JSON file. So a JSON file is very easy to parse. using code, it has a structured format of key value pairs. Think of a key like an index and the value, the actual value you want to get. So you have the key and you open a specific door that behind it holds some information. So these two options are super simple and super important, and it's up to your use case. Okay, the next one is presence penalty. So by default, it's 0. Let me zoom in a little bit here. So this, what it does, it goes from -2 to 2. It discourages or encourages mentioning new tokens that are not found in the prompt. So essentially, higher values in this allow the model to go as far away from the topics of the prompt, while lower values for this makes it stick around to the topic of the prompt. So when a prompt goes into an LLM, it gets into a space. Okay, so you could think about like a two-dimensional space. The prompt is here, and if you have low presence penalty, essentially what the model will do is give you tokens that are around this area. So not novel ones. But if you have this very high, it can search around into other topics and probably demonstrate some kind of generalizability or produce new ideas, new things. So this is very, very useful. The next one is the temperature, the sampling temperature. So this, in short, controls the randomness in the generation. If you want something highly creative, usually you put the temperature above 1.2. If you want something more specific, more deterministic, meaning every time you control generation in a little bit, like you get usually the lower temperature is, you get similar answers in each run. While the higher the temperature, the more randomness is in the response, and every time you get quite different responses. So it's up to your use case. We will see exactly how to tune that later on. But a good value would be like 1 for defaults. Timeout is the time you are going to wait for the response. This is again up to what model you use. I think in the future timeouts are going to be longer and longer because models will be able to think longer. They will take more time to generate the response. And if you have a system that you want to be super responsive, or you expect like the model to generate the answer fast, you can put this timeout lower so you can have better speed of responses to the user. So if something fails, it's going to try again faster. While for longer prompts, longer tasks, slower models, you want to increase it. Right now, I think it's around 6 minutes by default. The next one is max retries. So as we've said, when a model fails, essentially it says how many times it's going to try to answer again to be successful. So maybe you want this to be 2 or 3 times till the model gives up. But if you're in an environment that the model should respond, no matter what, you might want to pump this up. Okay. And finally, we have top P, which is a lot like temperature. It filters token by cumulative probability. Yeah, this is very technical, but what you need to know is that lower values below 0.9 and 1 restrict randomness, exactly like temperature. And this is often tuned with temperature. So you either tune this or temperature. Okay. Usually that's what you want to do. And this is top P. Okay. So let's see some specific use case. Hopefully you understand everything. And I think this document is very useful. So factual question and answering. We want low temperature, low P, and very big penalty or very small penalty. I don't remember really. So very small penalty. So we want clear and accurate answers. What we do is we keep randomness low. For creative writing, we want the model to be novel. We want the model to, we want to allow it to generate stuff. Okay. We want to let it think outside the box. So we have a higher temperature and a higher top P. I would go ahead and say probably above 1 for both. Not 0.8, not 0.9. Summarization, it's a lot like factual QA in terms of settings. And you might also want to have like max tokens. So if you want summaries that are small, you might want to tune that as well. And the lower the temperature, the more concise the summaries are. But they might miss some information. Brainstorming, it's essentially the next step of creative writing. So you push the model to think about new things, explore its search space, its probabilities. You give it freedom to go outside the box. You might see loads of hallucinations there. This is to be expected. You can expect loads of hallucinations, but this is totally fine. When you brainstorm, you go outside the box, you make mistakes, but you try to find new things, new knowledge, new stuff that you have never thought about while being in the box. So the idea of all of these parameters is, I want to be in the box, I want to go outside the box, and if you select these two options, you specify how big the box is, the box is going to look like text JSON, how small or big it's going to be like the max tokens, am I going to be repeating stuff or not repeating stuff. And finally, we have dialogue agents. These are actually, you would use like text for these. You would have small tokens, small max tokens, because it's a dialogue, it's like a sentence or two. 50 to 100 tokens maximum, because these are also costly if a lot of people are using this API, and you want them not to go a lot outside the box. You want to have concise answers, so you keep temperature and P down, and you don't really want them to repeat the same words all the time, because this happens usually, so you want to have a higher presence frequency penalty. And probably for these ones, you want to have more retries and less timeout time in general. So this is how you could optimize your agents for your use case. Hopefully this sheds a little bit of a light on the AI agent options. Hopefully you found this useful. And yeah, I really hope I helped you. Again, you can get this PDF on the link down below, says Gumroad. And if you found this helpful and you want to learn more about AI agents, how to use AI tools to be more productive and make more money than ever, then you can join in my course again down below. Thanks so much.